Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick here, dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable start to your day. I hope that you are having a thriving week. Remember what I always say, if you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. So even if you're not where you think you should be, if you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. You're still in the fight, you still can win. The goal is to finish. It's not how fast you move, it's that you move. And I want to encourage you in that in as powerful of a way as I possibly can. Don't give up, don't quit, don't give in. Today is Wealth Building Wednesday, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you the wealth building tip a little later. But what I want to do is I was sitting up and I was thinking about when I look around me and I see things that I know that are stopping people from being what they should be. And then I say, okay, while you haven't done a fraction of what you were put here to do, you've done more than most. And what has been the driving force behind what you've been able to do? And you hear me talk about it all the time. It's about being relentless. But why am I relentless? What is it I'm doing? And there's this thing that the late great Dr. Miles Monroe used to always say, and Les Brown repeats it a lot, is that the cemetery is the wealthiest place in the world. The cemetery is a place where you can go and you can find books not written, businesses not starting, inventions not created, ideas not pursued, and on and on and on. There are all these things that people were put here to do. It was theirs. It was given to them. It was a part of their assignment. It was a part of their purpose, and they didn't do it. And I made up in my mind a long time ago that I wasn't taking anything to the grave with them. You hear me say at the end of almost all of my videos that I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. But I want to take you a little deeper into my thought processes and tell you exactly what I'm thinking about when I think like that. I think highly analytically, and my brain moves 100 miles an hour and expands. It's a part of who I am. It's a part of what is a part of my challenges, but it's also a part of my gifting. And it allows me to view life in a panoramic and time, an unrestricted view as far as time. I see things in the past. I see things in the future, and I allow myself to visit those things and look at those things and examine those things and determine out of what I examine what's acceptable for me. What am I willing to do to be what I need to be, and what am I willing to let go of? And it's all about that. And then there's this idea that comes into my mind that when I think about my teachings early in life in the Bible, and and one of my doctorates is in theology. So I mean, I've studied this thing back and forth, and I think about Jeremiah. In the book of Jeremiah, the first chapter, Jeremiah tells God, "I'm too young," and God says, "Do not say that you're a youth. You're only a youth, or you're too young." He says, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, and I ordained you to be a prophet to the people." In other words, you had a purpose before you ever arrived here. And I started to think about that thing, and again, here comes my mind and thoughts moving on steroids. And I'm thinking, okay, if God gave me a purpose at the point that I had a purpose, that means that purpose came with potential and provision and gifting. It says your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. And so if I have this gift that's on the inside of me that God gave me before I was even conceived, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before anyone ever knew you were coming, you already had a purpose. Now, if I've got a purpose, that means I've got provision, I got a gifting, I got something inside of me that facilitates this purpose. God wouldn't place me here and say, do something without the capacity to do it. Now, here's the thing. If God is giving me something to do, what if God has a quantitative way of measuring it? What if God created some form of a recorded projection of what I would do if I lived to the fullness of that potential? What if there is a thing where he will have done this, he will have done that. By the time that his time on earth is done, he will have done X, Y, Z. He would have completed this, fulfilled that, and done this, touched this, changed that, all of this thing. It is on this chart, right? And then you, without knowing it, living a life, you are keeping a record of what you're actually doing. And then when life is over, you get there and you compare your record with what God said you should have done. And what happens? 95% of the people aren't even close to hitting the mark. And so I made up in my mind a long time ago, I didn't want to just hit it. I wanted to outperform it. I wanted to outperform my potential. I wanted to outwork my potential. I wanted to outwork God's settings for my life. I don't know where it's going to land me, but where it won't land me is half done. Where it won't land me is not fulfilled. Where it won't land me is no legacy. Where it won't land me is not having something that my family can be proud of after I'm gone. Where it won't land me is not having a legacy that will speak of me when I leave this place. What am I getting? I'm trying to tell you that there's something that you should be doing now that's above average, that's above mediocre, that's above just surviving, that's above just being. You are put here for a purpose. But a lot of you are dodging the purpose because of the discomfort in the process that's trying to get you to where God wants you to be in your life. You won't invest in yourself. You won't get out of it. You rather stay in survival mode simply because you know it, because you are familiar with it. You got to get outside of the familiar past and move into an unknown, uncertain future, because that's where you write the narrative of your destiny by conceiving in your mind things that have not yet taken place. There should be something in your life that you brought to the world. Before you came, it didn't exist. Before it came, nobody had ever experienced it like that. Before you came, nobody had ever thought about it in that way. There's got to be some imprint that you leave on the world that you can return to God with your report card and say, let's measure up and see how well I did. That's the thing that drives me. I'm not taking it to the grave. I'm not going to sit up here and take what God gave me before my mom even knew I was a possibility and said, this is your work, not your job, not what people say you should. This is your work. Touch lives, change lives, heal the brokenhearted. I am giving you a chance to move in this world and represent my power. Represent my love. This thing, no matter how you view this divine source of energy, power, and unbridled consciousness, you've got to sit up and understand that within this scope of our existence, we've been given something to do something, and most of us aren't even coming close. What are you doing with the gift? It says the gift will make room for you. It says the gift will bring you before great men. What does it mean? It means that it will expand your territory, that it will expose you to the people who can open the doors. It will expose you to the people who can amplify your voice, amplify your efforts, amplify your force. You have what it takes on the inside of you, but you got to stop coasting. You've got to stop being casual. I'm excited about what's happening in my life. I'm excited about the challenges that I have the opportunity to overcome, because every time I face a challenge and I overcome it, I give somebody struggling with the same thing permission to do the same. I'm not just here to be here from me. I'm here because God put me here to touch this world in a way that it hadn't been touched before. I refuse to be average. I refuse to be mediocre. I refuse to just exist. I refuse to be some person that just got by and survived. That's not why I'm here. Nothing about just making it is a representation of the power of God. Nothing about just surviving is I'm not saying you're not going to go through some difficult moments. I've been there. I've been flat on my back. But if you ask the people who are around me, they will tell you that they at the time thought I was in denial. Why? Because I was smiling while I was going through, and they couldn't understand it because they didn't have the power to step into the future and see where I was walking to. Well, how are you doing it, man? You're going through so much, and I want so much to be a helper, but I can only do so much. But you're going through so much, and you seem to be just in a place of joy. You know why? You're looking at the circumstance, but my spirit disagrees with the circumstances. I'm operating in the moment, but I'm living in my destiny. I'm already there visiting what the breakthrough looks like. You can't stop me because it's my destiny. People talk about why it's a benefit to work with me. And up until recently, I've been very protective of my clients. I've never asked them to openly share with anyone because what they go through and what they've been through and what they come from, that's their business, what they want to do. Now, a lot of them will show up on posts and videos like this and talk about what happened with me, but I never asked them to. Well, my marketing team is saying we need the reviews. So, and I'm looking at these reviews and I'm thinking, Rick, you're touching. Rick, you're changing. Rick, you're healing. Rick, you're lifting. Rick, you're empowering. This is a kid that came from a 15-year-old mother and an absent father, but you're doing some things that they said was impossible. And I'm going to help as many people as I can. That's the thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to touch. And one of the things that we decided we were going to do was we were going to take me back to my first love, the stage, live events, engaging people in the moment and showing them just how powerful and available a breakthrough is for their lives right now, not 6 months from now. Let's have a breakthrough moment right now. And the first one of those events is coming at the end of this year. Ascension is going to be live here in Houston. And we're going to do some crazy things. We just talked into the venue. I'm excited about this. This is the thing that I've been working towards. This is a part of the business breakthrough that I've been looking for. But in the same time, it means that I'm going to be scaling back the number of one-on-one encounters I do. And I love that because there's so much you can do with a person one-on-one that you can't do in a crowd, but it's only so many people I can meet on a one. There's only so many hours. So I'm limited at, but right now I'm going to take 5 people who don't want to be average, 5 people who don't want to settle, 5 people who don't want a legacy of just surviving, 5 people who want to go out and represent the power of God in their lives in an astronomical way that can never be forgotten, that can never be ignored. I want 5 people who are ready to stand on top of their purpose and outperform God's expectations. I want you, and I am going to offer you our bronze package, which is now $29.97, but I'm going to offer it to $28.97. I'm going to offer it you now for $19.97. Yes, it's an investment, but that's 12 weeks of engagement week. That's 12 weeks of assessment, planning, goals, searching your soul, finding out the things that are stopping you, visiting and understanding that are holding you back, erasing those with positive, liberating beliefs, replacing your habits with habits that win, setting a goal. And I'm telling you, this is what I do. This is what I do. I want to help you change it. I've got 5 spots. Again, I can't take as many people as I used to, just open it up and just book until I couldn't book anymore because we're doing something. But the people I get, I'm telling you, you're going to get a part of me that is so precious, that I value so much, that I monitor who I allow in my spaces. I want someone who wants to change their life today. Today only, I'm offering this. That's almost $1,000 off the regular price. And at the regular price, it's a steal for what you're going to get. Because I guarantee you in 12 weeks, that number, $29.97, won't shake your ground, because you'll have inside of you everything you need to expand your territory in finance, expand your territory in impact, expand your territory in growth, in any area you want, in business, in relationships. That value is so significant. But I'm giving it a break. I'm taking $900 off. I'm meeting you halfway, not halfway, but I'm meeting you. I'm investing in your vision, in your dream, in your aspirations, in your hopes for your life, in your desire to do something beyond what you've ever done before. I'm investing you up front. I'm saying, come sit with me. Let's work it out. I promise you, I won't leave you stranded. I have never left a client stranded. I promise you, we're going to get there. Meet me at the threshold of your breakthrough, and let's walk together. Let's walk through it together. The link to take advantage of this, I'm taking the first 5. It's today, and I'm taking the first 5. The link is in the description box. And I have a special, not to be mentioned, offer that's going to be no cost to the 5 who take advantage of it. I'm not going to tell you what it is because the value of what you're getting is right here. But I'm going to reward the people who actually step out with something extra. Now, who wants to be at the next level? Who wants to walk in their purpose, in the power that is sitting on the inside of them, lying dormant because they haven't activated it? I don't want to be the person who shows up in my report card is failing because I didn't act on it. And God is showing me what I could have done. You could have been a business owner. You could have been an author. You could have been a public speaker. You could have been all these things you could have been, but you balked on it because you didn't want the challenge. You didn't want to take the necessary steps to move in a direction that would change your life forever. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. We find ways to blow money on almost everything, trying to grasp at an image, trying to possess a symbol. Do you realize you have the power to become the symbol of success, the symbol of wealth, the symbol of power, the symbol of unrelenting force? You have the power to become the symbol. Stop chasing symbols. Invest in yourself. Grow yourself. Become. You're never going to get what you want. You're going to only get who you are and what you become. Now's the time to become. On that note, I am out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.